What is up, peoples, and welcome to another morning power talk. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is not the morning. It's actually 6:50 p.m. I'm recording this during the evening because I felt I had some extra time on the road, so I might as well say something. I'm on my way to a meetup, a networking event. Shout out to Whitney. So anyway, right? So I'm on my way to a networking event, and I felt inspired to talk about something which has been on my mind for the past week now. Because, to be honest with you guys, I'm at a whole different point. I'm at a whole different domain in life now. You know, I've been an entrepreneur, official entrepreneur. When I say official entrepreneur, I'm talking about I'm in this thing for business purposes. I'm trying to impact industries, and I'm trying to generate income. I'm trying to provide something for people to improve people's lives in a way, right? So that's what I call official entrepreneurship. I've been in it for 6 years. I always use my son Justin as the meter, because it was when he was it was the year, perhaps maybe a few months before he was born, that I sat down with my friend Rodney and I was like, I got to create a business. After going through a very tough situation in life. I'm not going to share that yet. I have not put that in my book, and I have not put that in any videos. I'm going to wait. I have to wait till the success. Let the success develop sometimes before you tell your big stories. But it was 2013 where I sat on a couch where I invited my friend Rodney, who's an amazing creative. This guy can create. I mean, he's a brilliant mind, you know? Shout out to Rodney. Very brilliant mind. Where I sat down with Rodney on a couch, 2013, just totally burnt out in life, totally not knowing where to go. I mean, I felt as if I've done so much for my age, even at I forgot how old I was, 26, 27, I don't know the math. And I sat there on the couch and I said, Rodney, I want to create something. And I came up with the idea of Dario Inspires, and he was helping me out with the logo and the idea behind it and what I can do, where I finally was able to create something for myself, where I didn't have to ask anybody for permission, where I didn't have to wait. Because, you know, a lot of things in life, they say Hollywood is like this, they say the music industry is like this, but life, a lot of systems, right? A lot of worlds or industries that are system oriented, it's a lot of hurry up and wait. It's not really about, like, you have a great idea, you have a great product, let's do something. It's a lot of hurry up, meaning you create it very quick and then you wait till you get permission to do something. So it was 2013, I sat down on the couch with Rodney and we created Dario Inspires, which is now no more Dario Inspires, it's Dario Philippe, period, right? So 6 years in this, and you go through several stages of being an entrepreneur or being a world impactor or somebody who's creating things, right? A creative. You go through the phase of obligation where you're like, I am obligated to do this thing. I have to do it. I have to. You're just obligated. Maybe you have a nonprofit organization that you want to put out and you feel as if, man, the community needs this. There's people that need this thing. That's obligation. There's another phase that I've jumped through, which is the phase of creativity. I've gone from, man, I want to create a podcast and I'm feeling creative, or, all the businesses I've dabbled into, it was, I get into my creative phase. There's a lot of creativity in this thing. I love being creative. I really believe that I'm an individual that can create anything. I firmly believe that. Now, all of it may not be profitable. All of it may not work necessarily, right? All of it may not catch on as some things do. But I must say that I'm a very creative person. I am capable of doing anything. That is a God-given talent, God-given gift. And I say that confidently and proudly. Because many things I've been able to do, I'm not proud that I've been able to do it by myself, but I will say this, that it has been done due to creativity. I'm getting notifications. But anyway, you jump from the loop of obligation, creativity, and there might just be another field too. There might just be another domain or aspect too. But I'm at the point where these things don't work for me anymore. I'm a father of 2 and I'm married. Right? I've jumped from the point of, because the older you get, the longer you've been doing things, the more harder it is to push yourself, right? I'll use my book as an example. I wrote Your Deathbed Confessions back in 2013 with my business partners when we were thinking about we need something to put out, right? I wrote the book literally in a few days. I don't want to give a date count. I've said 1 day, 2 days, I've said a week. I've been so inconsistent that I'm not going to say how many days I did anymore because I don't remember. But I wrote the book fairly quickly. It was very quick. I sat through one sitting, I wrote the book. And after that was just editing. The first draft of Your Deathbed Confession was literally 30 pages. It was no more than 30 pages. It turned from 30 pages to 50, from 50 to 90, from 90 to 92. Now it's 106 pages, right? So it's turned into something. That book sat down for a year. We had a lot of business plans, me and my business partners. We worked on a lot of awesome things, some really cool things, I'm telling you, that was going to impact businesses and business owners and entrepreneurs, from shows to, I mean, just some of the coolest things. Hopefully one day I'll be able to talk about some things that I've been able to do by the grace of God. So we created some really dope things. And this book was supposed to come out as some sort of thing where, you know, just to generate leads. We were going to put it out 30 pages, you know, how to escape regret and live a life of absolute purpose is the subtitle. And I'm like, yo, let's put this out. And it turned into something real, but it sat in my hard drive for about a year. And Your Deathbed Confession, the book comes from my attempted suicide back in 2005. Early 2005. I was at the lowest point, one of the lowest points in my life. There was a second one, but that was one of the lowest points in my life. And I felt the way out of that was to try to take my own life. And by the grace of God, literally by his voice telling me to hold on and listen, there's more to this thing and things are about to change for you, I did not do it. And also being afraid of the unknown. I was like, it's not time for me to go yet either. I decided not to do it. So it talks about my journey from suicide to literally ministry, I should say, to business, to family, to marriage, to children, to fatherhood, to purpose. How I was able to turn all that around. I didn't know where I was going back in 2005. But anyway, so I wrote that book and I let it sit there, like I said, for a whole year. And I remember just not being able to sleep. Just being really uneasy because, like I said, you jump from obligation to creativity to just wanting to put things out to this most important thing here, and it's responsibility. I couldn't sleep anymore. I couldn't sleep because I felt responsible, because every time I turned on the television, there was another suicide, a successful suicide, for lack of better terms. People that actually went on and killed themselves and actually said, you know what, my life is so hopeless that I'm giving up. It went that far with a lot of people. And every time I saw this happen, I was like, man, I feel responsible. I feel responsible not to put this book out. So literally in a matter of 2018 now, and now it's a year, I haven't put the book out. The book just been sitting in my hard drive. I don't have business partners anymore. We moved on. We've created things. We moved on. And now I find myself in a position where I'm watching the news and I'm listening to things and I'm seeing the statistics of people that are hopeless and people that are giving up. It's increasing by the month. Now by the days, it's increasing. You had adults that felt like giving up. Now you got 9-year-olds committing suicide. I'm like, man, this is crazy. And at the same time, I feel God knocking on my heart. He was knocking on my heart and telling me, listen, there's a story here. Listen, what do you have in your hand? And I'm like, man, I don't feel like putting this book out. I don't think it's ready yet. I don't think it's perfect. I don't got things right yet. There's so many things I got to fix about the book. And I'm telling you, based on the sheer motivation of being responsible, of responsibility, late 2018, I got the cover done. I think November, December, I got the cover done. Tighten up the book a little bit. Send it to my editor, Ruth. Shout out to Ruth. Got the book done. And in a matter of a few months, late January of 31st of 2019, I launched the book. I released the book. And I can't tell you the amount of blessings that came from me putting that book out. The amazing things that have happened since I put that book out, the response. Like I always say, I've got less than, radio just came on. Sorry about that. I've got less than 3,000 followers on Instagram, and I was able to sell a book that literally was able to cover my salary, my monthly salary. Because I decided to move on responsibility. And the point I'm trying to make in this video And it's power talk with you guys. It's let you know that you got to get to a point where, like, listen, you're doing things based on, because you're responsible. You're responsible. Because I know with some of you guys, motivation is not enough. With some of you guys, just having a good idea is not enough anymore. There comes a point in time in what you're doing in life, motivation isn't enough anymore. Having good ideas is not enough anymore. Doing things because it's cool isn't enough anymore. You get to the point now, because you're responsible, that if you don't put this out, your family's not going to eat. That if you don't put this out, your community's going to suffer, because you have an idea, because you have a solution. You have a solution. That if you don't do this, people may die. Do you believe that if you don't move on your purpose, that it could cost someone's life? Would you believe me if I told you that if you don't move on your purpose, if you don't move on your business plan, whatever, it's a ministry, whatever it is, if you don't finish that degree, do you know that there's a possibility that families may starve, communities may suffer? It's that deep. Some of you guys think that this is just about putting up cool Facebook or Instagram quotes. This ain't about quotes. They said about doing little videos. I'm not doing this because I want to. I'm not here because I want to. Ask my wife. My wife will tell you. I'm innately lazy. Naturally, I'm lazy. We're lazy as human beings naturally. I'm doing this because because I've moved past obligation, past creativity. I'm responsible now. It's responsibility. I've been through too much. I've seen too much. I've experienced too many things. So now I'm at a point where, like, I'm responsible. I gotta show up. How could God give me all these gifts and I do nothing with it? Because I'm afraid? Because I think nobody knows me? Listen, if it was about nobody knows me, I would have, half of the things I did, I would have never done it. My podcast was at the top of the iTunes charts for 8 weeks. New and Noteworthy on iTunes. I am a nobody. Nobody knows me. I interview some of the top entrepreneurs, people from the music industry to movies, on shows. I'm talking about whoever I felt I wanted to interview, I got them on the show. Because I moved past, I moved past all that. I moved past all that silly stuff. It's about responsibility now. You're responsible, brother. You're responsible, sister, friend, bro, sis, homie. You're responsible. Nobody's gonna give you the life you want. Nobody's gonna give it to you for free. Nobody's gonna come and rescue you out of this. You are fully responsible for your own life. Listen, I'm a man of God. I'm gonna just say it right now. Like, I believe in God. I believe in Him. I believe in Him. So these morning power talks is not for me. So I'm going to reference Him. And the reference I'm trying to give to you right now is the fact that, listen, I know I've been given something. I literally went through a hump. That's why you saw that happen, right? I'm responsible. I am responsible. Are you? Because I've been through motivation already. I've been through inspiration. I've been through the whole motivational thing where I'm like, yeah, I'm pumped. But when life smacks you upside your face, when life punches you upside your face, when you get into a car accident, God forbid, when you get kicked out of your apartment, when you get evicted out of your home, when you lose friends, when you go through situations, you gotta, listen, motivation's not gonna help you no more. It's all responsibility at this point. It's like, listen, I gotta get back up. I got fired from my job. I gotta get back up because I'm responsible. I lost everything I had. I've got to get back up because I'm responsible now. Because I know that if I don't do, somebody else loses. This is deeper than you. So move past your junk. Move past your mess. Get off yourself. Get off your situation. And I'm telling you this because I live by this. I live by this. You know, like, I don't have the time. You know how hard this is? I said in my other videos, this is mental strain. For some of us, this business thing doesn't come natural, meaning we don't come from backgrounds where mom and dad were doing business and, you know, we had friends who were business owners. Like, no, this is like literally waking up one day and I'm being told that this is where you are, this is what you ought to do. and figuring it out on my own. Like I always say, the movement won't be televised. The movement is never televised. I'll use Nipsey Hussle for this reference. Oh, people love Nipsey Hussle now. Oh, they love him. Why do they love him for? They love him because what? What is he known for? As a guy who took ownership for his own community. But you know what my problem with the Nipsey Hussle thing? By the way, I've been listening to Nipsey Hussle for years. Nipsey's not new to me, okay? Which is what hurt the most. It's not new. It's nothing new. I'm not a bandwagoner, okay? Let me just clarify that. And my problem with the whole Nipsey Hussle dilemma was the fact that it wasn't in it is what it is. It's after somebody passes, that's when he's venerated. That's when people say, oh my goodness, look at the amazing things he's done. That's when all your accomplishments and all the work you've been doing, that's when all that seen him come to rise to the top. And that's my problem. That's my problem. Something you guys should learn from him, if not me, if not anyone else, learn that from him, is that the movement is never televised. Sometimes you're not popular. Sometimes people won't know what you've done. They don't know what you go through. And it's a sense of responsibility that's going to keep you going. So let me stop this video before it goes too far. Living on responsibility, doing things, making moves, executing on responsibility. You got to get to that part now, because that part's what's going to get you to the next level. Some of you right now are struggling. You got a book and you haven't written a book. By the way, Philippe Publishing Group publishes books. We publish books too. We'll help you self-publish your book. Okay, without a 360 deal. Okay, because a lot of these big publishers, I'm not going to get into that now. But a lot of you may have books that you haven't put out yet. It's just sitting on your hard drive. Maybe you have music you haven't put out yet. Put it out. Maybe you got a degree program you're still fighting through. You haven't gone through the degree program. Finish school. Whatever you started, finish it. Get through things. Learn how to get through things. Learn how to fight through things. Be responsible. Because if you don't get that degree, somebody's not going to eat later on. Because if you don't start that business, a community, you guys saw what happened to Morehouse. The billionaire went up there and he said, listen, I'm going to pay for the class of 2019, I believe. He said, I'm paying your tuition. He couldn't have done that if he never started a business. He didn't do that working a 9-to-5 job. He started a business. An investment firm. Acquisitions and mergers. Make billions. You can't do that unless you feel a sense of responsibility. He couldn't do that. Now he's responsible for his community. So come on, let's get to responsibility now. Forget the motivation crap. I'm not a motivational speaker, by the way. I find it offensive. A lot of people call me that. I'm not. Although I do those talks. Right? I get that title because it's an industry, but I'm about to break that industry, by the way. Stay tuned. Responsibility. I'm in the industry of purpose development, by the way, if you're asking. I'm a purpose development expert. I'm coining the phrase and the industry. No more motivation. It's whack. When you at your brinks in life, it's not motivation anymore. It's responsibility. So be responsible. We'll talk next time.